Hello and welcome back. So as promised in this lesson, we're going to apply styling to the HTML we created in the previous lesson. So I'll start off with a universal selector for margin. I'll make everything 0 pixels. And then I will apply some styling to the whole of the body. I'll make it 100 view heights in height. And I will make it a Flexbox with a direction of a column. And I'll just paste in some color values here and a font family. And now for the main section, I'm going to say flex : 1, which will ensure that the main takes up all of the available space after the header and footer have reserved what they need. And I'll say overflow auto, as we saw in the lesson before last. And this itself is going to be a Flexbox. And it's going to have a flex direction of column also. And then we can say justify content of center and align items center, as we've seen before. And that ensures that these headers and paragraph and button are all centered within the main section. Okay, let's move on to the header. So here all I'm going to do is apply some coloring and padding. So I'll paste that in. And the footer similarly is essentially just going to be coloring and a bit of padding and the font size. The navbar is going to be a Flexbox, and I'll put a gap of 8 pixels between the individual items. And just to space out these headings and paragraph, I'll give them all a top margin. And then comes the styling of the buttons. So we'll do the nav button first. So let me just paste the values in for this. We can see I've set a color, a font size, a border of 0, which overrides the default for a button, which does have a border. I've put a border radius in and some padding, and I've said the background color is transparent. Now I want to create a hover effect, which I can do like this. I can say background color is different when I hover over it. So by default the buttons are transparent, which is why you can't see this border radius, but when I hover over them then the background color changes and then I can see this radius or rounded corners. And finally the center button, I've given it a top margin, background color, a text color, some padding, a font size, again a rounded border. The actual border itself is 0 pixels. And finally cursor pointer means that when I move my mouse over it, it changes to this little hand with a pointing finger. And that's all that's required. Finally, if I just copy this web address and bring up Chrome in a new window and paste it in here, we can see the page as we set out originally. Okay, so that's everything for this section, and I will close this off here and I'll see you in the next section.